It's a new year. 2023 is here. Putting on my list of minis. New season, let's cheers. Let's talk about the future. Let's talk about the past. Time to get on the Not Your Average Joe podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Not Your Average Joel. So today we are actually on episode 74, which means that we are only one episode away from the season finale of season 3 of Not Your Average Joel. So far I've been enjoying this, getting to reconnect with people that I haven't seen in a long time, or even family members that I see all the time. I get to, have these good conversations about different topics, and I've been enjoying the whole journey so far. And today we have another great topic that we are going to talk about. But before I tell everybody what the topic is, I want to welcome both of my guests to this channel. So I want to first welcome Miguel back to the channel. This is his second time here. The first time he was here, we talked about embarrassing moments that we've experienced throughout childhood and all the way up to even nowadays. So that was a fun conversation to have, and I'm glad that he's back. But ever since he was last on this channel, he actually became a father once again. So congratulations and welcome back to the channel.
Thank you. Good to be back. Good to be back.
Yeah, it's definitely good to have you back. And then my other guest is actually a new guest. So this is Damian. I've actually known him since the school days as well. We all three actually went to school together. So it's definitely good to reconnect with him. And he was definitely interested in joining on a podcast at some point. So I definitely appreciate his support and wanted to be on here. So welcome to the channel and thank you for being here.
Yep, thank you, man. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. So for everyone that's wondering, today's topic of the day is actually going to be on love. So the reason why I want to talk about love is because we know at some point in life, everybody has gone through some kind of at some form of love, whether it's love from in a romantic sense or family, friends, whatever the case may be. So, and I feel like men don't talk about love enough. I feel like usually that's stuff that women talk about. So I thought this would be a really good time to talk amongst other men about the topic of love. And I have a few questions that I'm going to ask both Miguel and Damian before I even give my input. So I think we're going to go ahead and get started in this first question. So my first question to y'all is, do you believe in love at first sight?
No.
Who do you want to answer the question first, Damian or myself?
We'll start with Damian.
Okay, cool.
Me.
You go first, Damian, since you're new.
Yes, since I'm a newbie. Honestly, personally, I don't really believe in love at first sight. To me, love is something you have to work towards. It's nothing easy. Me and Christina, we've been together going on 16 years now. So we've been together since freshman in high school, and it takes a lot of work to, build that relationship up and, get to know each other. And, I just don't see somebody's like, oh man, first time I've seen you, I love you already. That's just not what, how I view love is. You got to earn that. It shouldn't be just given to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could definitely see that point of view for sure. That you definitely got to work for that. It's not gonna instantly happen right away. So that makes a lot of sense. And what about you, Miguel?
I agree with Damian because honestly, so the first time Melissa and I met, which is my girl's name, we saw each other and I waved at her from a distance, but I would say, hey, good morning, how you doing? We actually worked together. And what's funny about that is she could not stand my morning energy. She was just it was funny because we're for one we're total opposites. And you would never think that I would end up with a girl like her, and she never thought that she would end up with a guy like me. Not saying that we're, bad or anything. It's just we're different in so many ways. Like I'm talking about complete opposites. It's crazy. And so
Opposites attract.
yeah, that everybody kept telling me that. And at first, like I would say, "Hey, how you doing?" And she'd be like, beautiful, and you?" And I'd be like, "Who she thinks she is?" I was just like, like her cocky attitude, and I don't have the cocky attitude. I mean, I'm confident about myself, but I was just like, "Who she thinks she is?" And I thought that was very I thought she was gonna be like egocentric or like one of those
Mm.
people that likes to think about themselves highly or something like that. But no, I just misinterpreted it. She's just a bright soul, and she likes to smile, and she feels confident about herself too, and she just expresses it in a different way. But the first time we saw each other, we did like I seriously, it didn't even cross my mind, and to her either. It was just something that happened. We just kept talking and had a conversation, and then it led to one thing and another, and now we're together, and we're trying to build a future. And it's like what Damian said. You have to love doesn't just pop up from one day to another, or it doesn't just grow on a tree, or it doesn't
Mm.
just come across to you like a dollar that's on the floor and that you find. No, you gotta build and work your castle up to the way you want it to be.
Lay the
Yeah,
foundation.
yeah, that
Lay the foundation, man.
the foundation. Now, some
Yeah.
people, some people actually like it. It surprises me though. Like, there's actually some people that see each other for the first time, they lay eyes on each other and they say, "Oh my love," and they actually last a long time. It's crazy.
I
Like,
mean, yeah, I mean, love comes in all shapes, man. All
yeah,
Mhm.
shapes and
yeah,
forms. It does, man.
yeah. That's true.
Yeah,
That's
very
true.
true. Yeah,
I
I
wish
love
I.
that. Oh, you go ahead.
I know. I wish I would have found it the first time. Shoot, had to go through a lot of heartbreaks and breakups and
But you crying.
yeah, some crying, but it's all
Yeah.
good.
I can relate. I can relate for sure. I'm glad that y'all brought up foundation, because I think that's a really good like point to make, that like if your foundation is like quicksand, that stuff is gonna
Yeah,
last. But if you have it like on solid ground, like that's going to last longer. So I think yeah, just having a good foundation is like a good way to start off with building that love and even like trust and whatever all goes into that equation to make a
definitely.
marriage or a relationship work. So the way I would answer this question, wait, actually, before I answer this question, you brought up something else that was really good. You talked about how at first, when you saw your girl that you're with, that you kind of viewed her one way, but then once you got to know her, you saw a whole different side to her. And I think like
Yeah.
I think about that point of like, don't judge a book by its cover. I think that is, I think
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
awesome that like you
Mhm.
were able to get to know her more than just a casual conversation that you would have during the mornings. So I think that's really good that like you've had that, you were willing to get to know her more than just on a surface level. Like you got to know her on a deeper level, and now you have a good
Yeah.
relationship out of that.
Yeah. It definitely took some time to process everything, and I had a few things that she kind of was like, oh, like my morning energy. She's like, how are you so enthusiastic in the morning? And I was just like, I'm a morning person. I guess you're not.
Yeah. So I guess like as far as like my answer with the first question with love at first sight, I used to be a believer in this, like when I was younger, maybe like 10 years ago, I'll say. The reason why, I guess I'll share a quick story, and I'm sure people on this podcast are thinking like, golly, you share this story just about all the time, but oh well, you're gonna hear it again.
Here
So
again. Nope.
so back in our senior year of high school, I went to prom, like our Pinson prom, with a friend. Her name's Shanna Redmayne, if y'all remember
Mm-hmm.
her.
I
Okay.
remember. Yeah.
Well,
I
anyway,
don't.
she's a twin. Her and her sister, Shannon Redmayne. I don't know if you remember them, but anyways,
Mhm.
one of the twins I went to prom with. Like we just went as friends, of course, and then she was going to Spain Park. Like she moved to Spain Park towards the end before we graduated. So I ended up going to Spain Park's prom as well, like with her as a friend. And anyways, while I was there at prom, I saw this girl there. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I couldn't keep my eyes off of her all night. So I was thinking, wow, this is love at first sight. Even if she was with a guy at the time, she was with this guy and like they were dancing all night. But I was thinking, gosh, that girl in the blue dress, like I couldn't even like keep my eyes off of her. So, anyways, the whole night I was thinking about her, and then like a few weeks later, I heard that she broke up with this guy. I was thinking like, yes, like this is my time to jump in and like get into a relationship with this girl, or like at least reach out to her, like, hey, sorry about your breakup, and yeah, I'm here for you if you need me. So like all of this like stuff like that.
Joel
So
Joel said, "You'll never find someone to love you the
yeah.
way I do."
There you go. That was my attitude back then. So in the summer of 2011, like after we graduated and all that, I started trying to pursue a relationship with this girl, and it's a couple months later, it ended up happening to where I got in a relationship with this girl, and we were dating for a few months, and then like towards the end of the relationship, I actually found out, or she actually told me via Skype at the time that she was with another guy for the past 2 months. So yeah,
Oh,
so I was that was my actually my first relationship because I feel like I didn't really like go on dates like when I was younger. So it took me like turning 18 to kind of start actually going on dates. So this was like the first heartbreak that I had to go through.
Oh
So
man.
so ever since then, my answer has changed on this believe in love at first sight because I feel like I guess maybe
I'm
the other
here for
phrase.
you, bro. I'm here for you.
so here for you, man. So here for you.
Yeah, 18-year-old me thanks y'all. So it was a rough
Oh
journey.
yeah. Oh yeah.
18-year-old
Oh yeah.
me definitely was going through some rough stuff, and 18-year-old me was stupid because 21-year-old me decided to give this person another chance, and I got cheated on again,
Oh,
but this time she was with a married man. So
What?
yeah,
oh no.
so I think maybe the phrase that I was probably thinking of at the time was like almost like blinded by love. That I guess I was thinking that I'm in love with this person, and I was being blinded one way to where I was thinking it was going to work, and this whole time it just kept on. The trust was being broken. So yeah, my answer on love at first sight has definitely changed over the years to where as
Yeah.
much as I want to believe in it, I don't think I do really anymore. So
Now, just like you had to learn, like I think that happens to a lot of us because same thing. Like I mean, but eventually that the reason why this happens to us is so that we can learn from it and then learn that also that's also teaching us morals and also to value the person that's going to come into our life when they appear, because I mean honestly I was with my one of my exes, and she was doing the same thing. She was cheating on me with this dude, and honestly I felt good because I wasn't the one who messed up. And like at the
Yeah.
end of the day, if you're the one who's trying, if you're the one who's doing right, you know bad karma is not going to follow you because karma does exist, and it's not karma, it's more God than anything, you know, like because I mean it is God at the end of the day. Karma is just another way that we
mhm.
express it. But yeah, no, it definitely, what goes around comes around. Everybody gets what they deserve. And like
Oh, yeah.
sometimes I personally, like, the way love works is you love enough to forgive. You
That's
Yeah.
forgive
really
that
good. I like that,
person.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, you forgive that person, and you move on. And honestly, I chose to do that and let go, and actually pray for this person to be better. But you know, sometimes it don't work that way, and they stay in their own little trap and they think that by hurting more people they're doing themselves some good, but in reality they're just hurting themselves.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure are, man.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
true. I think that's a really good point that you bring up. And even like sometimes it's good to just, with those kind of people that have done us wrong, is just love them from a distance is all you can do.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
kind of keep
Yeah.
them at arm's length. And, like you said, if you have to pray for them, if you just want to wish them the best, in life, that's all we can do at that point and just move
Mhm.
forward.
And now
No.
look at me. She cheated on me and now I'm in space, bro.
Look at that.
Lost out. She lost out, man. She lost out.
She lucked out.
Yeah, exactly. You're up in outer space and Damian's right behind you with
Yeah,
that
I'm right behind you.
that
I'm coming, man.
rocket.
I'm coming to space with you, man.
I'm where I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be. They said the citizens of planet Earth said that I was an illegal alien.
Yeah,
So
so forget being on cloud nine, get up there in outer space.
Yeah, get up there
yeah,
on the moon. The moon time.
get up on the moon,
The moon time.
Oh yeah.
Elon Musk style.
So, I guess leading into my next question that I have for y'all, when people get into romantic relationships, sometimes, the words "I love you" can sometimes happen very soon in a relationship, or sometimes it can happen way down later to where some people may be concerned, why hasn't this person said "I love you" yet? So, I guess my question for y'all is, if someone tells you that they love you like very soon, let me say, when I say very soon, I mean like within the first like month or two in a relationship, do you feel like that's a red flag to y'all, or do you not really see that as a concern?
Red flag. Red flag. Challenge that. Yeah, red flag, man. Yeah, I mean, if you're not building towards it, man, you got to build towards that, man. I mean, love's not supposed to be easy. Love is very, very hard. The commitment and stuff. And if somebody says it like within the first month, you don't even know who you don't even know that person really. And within the first month, it takes years to actually, get to know somebody. Then you just all of a sudden like, oh, I love you. I know we've only been together for, a month and a half. I mean, it's like, excuse you, like you you've only stayed at my house like two times or something like that. I mean, you don't know the habits that the other person have, good or bad habits, and it's just that's just way too soon. I mean, if you're young, it's different. Like if you're like young, I could see it. You saying that, but like once you get like up in age and stuff, I mean, if somebody says that, that's a really big red flag to me, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because it's almost like, they only got to have known maybe like 2% of the actual
Mhm.
100% of you. And when they say I love you, it's like, well, you don't know the other 98% of me. You
100%.
don't.
No, you don't know it at all, man. I mean, you don't know that at all. I mean, like me and Christina, we still, even though we've been together for 16 years, we still find little things out about each other that we didn't know previously. I mean, it's always a learning process, but, you get with somebody for, a year or a month and then they say, oh, I love you. It's like, kind of slow down. They seem to rush into things, and maybe that's why you're just not getting in a relationship with them is because they always seem to rush something. And if you rush, you can't rush love. I mean, if you rush love, you're going to be back to square one really quick.
Most definitely. I definitely agree with that for sure.
There's something you don't rush. There's a lot of things you can rush, to get it, get your work done, get it done out the way fast. But love and commitment and
Yeah,
trust, that's something you just cannot rush because you rush it, then it's back to our foundation thing. It's, you're building your foundation on quicksand. And, that's just not what you need to do.
Yeah, very true.
I
Very true.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
N-
So, yeah, what do you
No,
think, Miguel?
no, definitely. I like whenever I went out on a date or I was dating someone, if they immediately said I love you in such a short span of time, then I would have to tell them, I guess I love you too, but in like a love humanity kind of way. And I'm
Oh, yeah.
like, it's too
No.
soon. It's too soon for me to say that I'm in love with you. I like you. I like some of your personality traits, I want to understand you. I want to learn. And I feel like every relationship is a learning experience. And when you say I love you, you're taking that step where to me it's like you're opening yourself up more, and it's hard to open yourself up to someone who you don't know completely or trust completely, because they could use that against you and they could end up hurting you.
Hmm.
And at the end of the day, you're hurting yourself. So yeah, it's more of like a, like Damian says, you have to build and work on it, and love just doesn't just happen one day to another, because people can love each other at first, yeah, but it's the time that they're together, what they've done together, the adventures they've taken together, the things they found out about each other, the things they do for each other, having each other's backs, looking out for each other, seeing what it is that bothers them, what it is that makes them angry, what it is that makes them sad or happy, anything like that. I mean,
That takes
honestly,
time.
the last girl that told me that she loved me within the first month put a stalking tracking thing on me. She's
Yikes.
Right there,
she
red flag, red
yeah,
flag.
red flag. Damien is not lying,
Oh.
people. No,
Red
no,
flag.
it's not. I don't see it as a bad thing, but they should kind of, like, I mean, just like have a grown up conversation with them. If somebody tells you they love you, don't immediately be like, okay, I don't think this is gonna work out.
No,
but
no,
but
no.
dude, talk to that person and be like, look, I'm just not ready yet. And talking things out. If there's communication, obviously things are gonna work out great. But if someone says I love you right off the bat, look what happened to me. I was
Yeah,
stalked throughout all of
no.
Alabama. She wanted to know where I was. And I was working. I was working, and yep. Jealousy is a big no no.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what it comes off as. Really, it's like if somebody says that early, it comes off as jealousy. Like it's either jealousy or they've been hurt before, and
Yeah,
they're just trying to make it right, trying to get into the
they're
next relationship.
they're trying to fill in that void, that empty feel, that empty spot. They want to hurry up and rush to fill in that spot in because they can't be without someone. And
Yeah.
it's understandable, but like at the same time, yeah, I get it too. Some
If
some
you want it
some
to work, I
people,
mean, you got to work at it, man. If you want it to work, you can't just expect it to happen overnight and just like right then. It's like, okay, this is going to work right now. It's like, no, no, you got to work and have good patience and
yeah.
understanding. I mean, it's just not going to pop up like I love you all of a sudden. It's like, whoa, okay, relax there a little bit, please.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I love me too.
I love you too.
That's a
I
good
love
comeback. I
Good
like
I
answer,
that.
love
man.
you. Oh,
Good
thank you. I
answer.
love me too. It'd be like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, but that's good that y'all even bring all of this stuff as well, because yeah, sometimes I feel like this phrase like, I love you, I feel like it falls flat nowadays because it's thrown out so many times. I
Yeah.
almost feel like it's like it almost means nothing because unless there's like action behind it, like we talked about, like the work that goes behind, love and like relationships and marriages. I think, people just like to throw the I love you out there so much just to almost keep validating that, like, okay, well, do you love me? Are we in a like
Mhm.
is things working out? But it's like, hold on, we've only
Yeah.
gotten to know each other for like 2 weeks. Like, how are you gonna tell me I love you already when like I don't even know like, if I love you in that way yet. Like I'm
Yeah,
enjoying
yeah.
getting to know you, but it's like
Yeah.
I won't know that until like I get to know even more of you. And I know like Damian said, he's been with his, wife now for, I mean, they've been together for 16 years up to this point, but like he's still getting to know her. So I know that there's never like an 100% like moments where
Mhm.
you're gonna fully know somebody, but I think there's like good points to where like you feel confident that you do love that person and you know them for the most part and you love them for who they are at that point. But for someone to get to say I love you not even a month within a relationship, I could see it as a red flag for sure as
Oh
well.
yeah,
So
big red flags.
Definitely. Joel's right about one thing though. Sometimes it's like, what did you do? Like, like someone says, "I love you," and you're like, "What happened? What'd you do?"
You just,
Like,
all right. And, start asking questions. Then that's when all the questions start coming out. You
yeah,
know, maybe it could also help. I mean, if you can, find out why they rush to stuff. I mean,
yeah,
if you actually really like that person, you can actually, try to find out why they're trying to rush stuff to see if they had some type of trauma growing up or stuff like that. And that's where we got back to. You never know what somebody's going through, and 1 month you're not going to know all the stuff that person you're with or trying to get to know. You don't know what all they went through growing up or in their
yeah.
past. You don't know yet. So, it's always good to give the benefit of the doubt, but it does bring up red flags.
That's what I was gonna say too. Definitely give them an opportunity to say something. Like that's what I'm saying. Like confront her about it. Say something like or him about it if it's a he. Uh, like I'll be like, hey, I love you like I love every other human in this world, and love goes a long way. But I feel like the kind of love that you're trying to say, just like that takes time.
Yeah, no, it
It
takes time.
definitely takes time.
Yeah, for
There's love
sure.
and then in love. There's a difference between love and in love.
Yep.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, so people need to understand that difference because I think when people throw it out there, they are gonna throw that red flag up because people are gonna be thinking, "Whoa, like I just met you like a couple of weeks ago. How do you already?" It's almost making it sound like you are in love with me, even though you hardly know me. So yeah, there's definitely a big difference for sure.
Oh, yeah.
There is definitely a lots of differences. Like I love tacos, man, and
I love
that
tacos
love
too.
that love goes a long way, and hamburgers too.
Mm,
That's
yes.
really good.
Cool.
Hamburgers and tacos.
Yeah, that's funny. I definitely am a lover for
N-
food too, which is
Now,
then
if a taco told me that it loved me within the first 2 months, I'm marrying it.
Hands and knees, man. Get on the hands and knees.
Yeah, I
Expensive
gotta get.
meat, everything. And then it's gone though, because it's going to be delicious.
Yeah,
hmm
I'm gonna. There's gonna be posters everywhere for disappearance for a taco.
Taco, last scene with Miguel.
Last name
Yeah.
Miguel. There's gonna
You're
be
a
sauce on the
suspect
side
now,
of my
bro.
face.
You still got the evidence.
Yeah, I didn't do it.
You do it up. No, man, that was pizza sauce, man. Pizza sauce.
Pizza sauce. Hey man, I love me some pizza too. I ain't gonna lie.
Mm. Yes, yes, me too. There's definitely some good food out there for sure. So I guess my next question that we're gonna go into is we're gonna kind of step away from the romantic side of things and we're gonna kind of go into well it can still involve the romantic stuff, but we're gonna add even more different forms of love like family members and friends
Yeah.
and all of that. So my next question is what are some of your like favorite things that you love doing for others to show them that you love them? Because I know we talked about like the words "I love you," it just falls flat without like action and work behind it. So like, there could be just different things that you do to show that you love somebody. Whether it's just simply telling them that you love them, or more different things like that. So what are your like favorite things that y'all like to do to like show people
I
that you
love
love them?
being I love being goofy. That's like one of my favorite things. I know on the way here last night, I was going through like a bunch of down the road. It's in the middle of nowhere in Florida. Surprisingly, there's a middle of nowhere in Florida. But we was going by cow pastures, and then I just rolled my window down and I just got me and my kids just moving at the cows going down the road. I know it was probably getting on my wife's nerves that she was just hearing us mooing down the road at these cows. There's so many cows, and we was just trying to get their attention. It's just moo, moo, and then my little one just goes moo, and then this is like lighthearted. Try to have some fun, and just being yourself. But like my favorite, like I'm always goofy. I like being goofy. I'm not a really serious person unless I absolutely have to be. But just to me, like overall, the way I show people is just being goofy. And if you need somebody to talk to, it's like, hey, you can talk to me. I've been through so much in my life that, I can relate to, a lot of people. So, it's just my thing is, have fun, be yourself, and always be goofy. Don't take yourself too serious. I mean, if you take yourself too serious, I mean, sure, it can help in some situations, but I mean, that's what kind of life is that you're living? I mean, be goofy, have fun, let your hair down a little bit if you have hair.
I was about to
Yeah.
say, what if you're bald?
Well, if you're bald, well, grease it up a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, let it shine.
Polish it. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Definitely. Man, like when it comes to showing someone you love them, sometimes, like, I know they say money doesn't buy happiness, and it doesn't, but like sometimes what you do with what you receive in your income, like I bought my brother a grill. He didn't ask me for it. You didn't expect it, but that was a way to show him, like, I love you, man. Like, you wanted a grill so bad, and he wasn't expecting it at all. And we kind of pranked him too. I think I have a recording of it, but I remember we told him that somebody hit the car on the side, and he was like, "What?" And he was scratching his head. He was like, "Man, don't tell me that." We were like, "Yeah, man, it looks like somebody just, like, I don't know, like, did you hit something or what?" And he comes outside and he looks at the carport, and he was like, "Where's it at?" We're like, "It's on this side." And like we put the grill on the side where where we told him the car was hit at, and he goes and he's like looking at the car all worried, and and he's like, "What? I don't see anything. Where's the scratch?" And he completely ignored the grill, the big old box that was right in front of him. And I was like, "Bro,
It's a grill right here, man.
there's a grill right here." But yeah, I was just like, "Look, what's that?" And then he was just like, "Oh my God, you guys are so mean. You got."
That was pretty mean, man.
Yeah,
That was
it
pretty
was
mean.
horrible, bro. I think he got like blood sugar, high blood,
High blood pressure.
high blood pressure or something. He went diabetic. We gave him diabetes, but no, he was scratching his head. He was all panicked and stuff. But it was funny, and at the end of the day, I did it because I loved him. I know that, like, money is not the most important thing to me. Like, that showed that money is the least important thing to me. To me, the most important thing is family. Love,
Mhm.
it goes a very long way, and sometimes family is not also like, blood kin.
Nope.
Sometimes family, you find it in the most weirdest places.
Yeah.
And honestly, our family has grown so much, and it's not like people who are in our, like, blood related family. We have our family, and it's perfect, because I mean, like, we all love each other, we all got each other's backs, and I mean, honestly, like, everybody knows that we would do anything, that we would die for that person.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, like, I have friends that I consider brothers, that my love for them, even for a stranger. Somebody told me this one time. They were like, "Would you die for a stranger?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I would." And they were like, "So if this guy was getting mugged and this other guy pulls a gun on him, you would interfere and try to save that guy's life?" And I was like, "Yeah, I would." And he was like, "Why?" And I was thinking to myself, like, because, that's the kind of love I got. And then he told me, "But what if he was a killer? What if he was a rapist? Or what if he was someone really, really bad?" And I was just like, in my head, I was thinking, Jesus died for us, and he didn't know half of us yet. And I mean, he died for someone he didn't even know. I could have been a killer. I could have been something else, But I mean, that's like, to me, love is eternal. Love is expendable, and then there's different kinds of love too. I mean, like there's also like people use love for evil intentions as well. But
You know,
as far as I go, I love everybody, man.
yeah, me
Yeah.
too, man. Me too.
Yeah, I like both of your answers. I like that y'all both kind of gave a different answer to this question. Like with Damien is talking about like showing your true self and like, not making life so boring and serious, like having some fun out there and like just showing that true side of yourself that people can, love and definitely like that. So I think that's really good. And then like with Miguel, I like that you brought up the idea of like money and like I haven't read the book, but I have heard of a book called like the Five Love Languages, and something about like giving gifts is like one of those like love
Mhm.
languages that people tend to have. So I'm glad that you brought that up because even though like you said, money can't buy love, but at the same time that it could be a way of showing that you love somebody by doing
Mhm.
something like, the grill, giving a grill to your brother and also like even the love that you have for just people that you don't know by like being willing to give your life up for somebody else and like putting other people before yourself. I think that's very very big and I think that speaks volumes to like the kind of person that you are and the character that you
Mhm.
have. So I think that speaks a lot. I love that. I love hearing that.
No, me too. Me too.
So I guess for me, as far as like love for me, like I mean I guess like ways that I show love is I think for me, like out of the five love languages that I think of is like maybe quality time for me, like actually
Mhm.
being with those people in the moment and just like spending time with them, putting my phone down because sometimes our phones could be very distracting nowadays and so many things are happening and I think it's just sometimes just putting the phone away and like putting all the technology away and like spending time with your loved ones and just whether it's a dinner or just doing the different fun activities. So I think for me that's my thing.
I know me and my oldest son Levi, like we'll stay up really late watching like one of our favorite animes and stuff, and we'll watch it till like 2 o'clock in the morning, and we'll be having so much fun watching it. Most of the time I fall asleep during it, and he makes fun of me for falling asleep during the show. But yeah, it's the quality time, man. You sit there, you put your phones down, and you have to sit there and both pay attention to what's life in front of you. Not looking down at your hand, social media and stuff. So me and my oldest son, we love watching like shows together. We watch some Dragon Ball Z together.
Nice,
We watch all sorts of stuff together, man. Just
nice.
play video games like quality times like playing video games. Like I always love playing video games with them, like from Mario Kart to Smash Brothers. I'm trying to get them into football, but that's a little too complicated for them right now. Oh, we got a photo bomb in the background. Hey, little boy. Me and my youngest one just got back. I was
Nice.
putting my mic on mute because I don't know how loud he's going to be. He's really loud. I don't want that.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought that up because, like, when you spend quality time with somebody, I think it's basically showing that person that, like, I love you, I want to be with you, and I want to be with you in that
Yeah,
moment, and just like spending that time with you. So, yeah, I'm glad that you make that time for your kids for sure.
Oh yeah, got to, man, got to.
Absolutely. So, before I get to the final question, I have a quick random question that I'm going to ask. So, I thought about how, I feel like it's easy for women to tell other women, I love you. And I feel like when men tell each other, I love you, it comes off more on like of a negative sense. Like people start questioning like things like your sexual orientation and stuff like that. So, I'm curious, do y'all tell each other, like when you tell see other men, yeah, you tell them that you love them.
Yeah, if I actually, if one of my good friends or something, and I have no problem with that, man. You never know when you're not guaranteed tomorrow. So you better if you actually care about the person, if it's your brother, one of your best friends, yeah, man, easily, yeah. And if somebody has a problem with it, I mean, that's more on them than you.
Yeah.
that means they got issues.
Yeah,
Cause
they got issues, not us,
yeah,
man.
Yeah, because I'm comfortable with myself and my gender and my likings, and I tell my brother, my friends, friends that I consider like brothers as well. I mean, honestly, like I would even I would no it just it I love them. I mean,
No,
and if somebody has a problem with it, well, I mean, that's their problem.
that's their problem.
Because
Yeah, man.
yeah, because I mean, I don't think it's wrong for a guy to tell another guy that he loves them because, like Damian said, this day could be our last. And what if I don't live to see you tomorrow and I don't tell my friend slash brother like, hey man, I love you, dog. Like I appreciate everything you've done for me and kicking it by my side and stuff like
No,
that. It's just sometimes
part of
some
the family,
people,
man.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Part of
we're
the
all
family.
we're all on the same boat. We're all citizens of planet Earth. We're all here.
We are.
We're,
You're on the moon, bro. You're on the
Yeah.
oh,
moon. We're on Earth. You're on the moon right now.
oh yeah, my bad. I forgot I was on
Yeah.
the moon. Yeah, see the Earth down. I'm talking about you guys down there, down
Us
there.
down there.
Yeah, yeah, you guys down there. Y'all spread the love, not the hate. Don't discriminate.
Discriminate on the love, man.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that y'all answered that way because I feel like probably if this was like the generation before, like maybe with our parents, I feel like it would be a different answer because I feel like men always had this like you have to be tough and like you don't need to show externally like emotions and stuff like that. But I think
Yeah.
nowadays it's kind of gotten to where not that men are becoming less manly, but more of just being more vulnerable and showing the real them. So
Yeah.
I think that was I'm glad that y'all answered that way because I definitely every now and then I'll tell a friend I love them. I'll even give another guy a hug and I don't
Yeah.
really just don't care what people think nowadays.
Mm-mm.
Sometimes people need
Definitely.
hugs, man.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah. We all need
Yeah.
hugs, man. We all need hugs.
Like my friend, actually he was a coworker friend and his grandmother passed away and I was like, man, look, I love you, dog. I was like, I'm sorry your grandmother passed away. I was like, but this isn't the end of it. I mean, this is only the beginning. We are learning and I know that it sucks because you're not going to be able to see your grandmother anymore, but the kind of love you have for people really shows when they really need you the most.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
he was really attached to his grandmother because I mean, he had a rough time. He had a rough time and I can't tell him or give him advice about his lifestyle or his past life because my life was different. But what I
Hmm.
can say is, hey man, I'm here for you if you need me. And honestly, like, giving that kind of support and giving him a hug made him feel really good. And he told me like, thank you, man, for being there. Like, I really appreciate it. And he was actually one of my EOL inspectors. And I told him he could take the rest of the day off. And I worked the end of the line for him because he needed it. He needed it.
Yeah, man.
Hmm.
You remember we was talking about Neil. You remember Neil, right? I
Yes.
was talking about the bus. I remember it was like eighth or ninth grade. His dad passed away. We went to the funeral and just seeing him cry and him being hurt, man, it made me like cry and it hurt
Yeah.
my feelings. Like I was sad because I seen that, one of my best friends was crying. It's just, you gotta show your emotions for,
Yeah.
your fellow brothers, man. I mean, there's no shame in that.
No.
No shame in
No.
it at all, man.
No shame at all.
Yeah.
You're supposed to feel that way. That's how we're supposed to feel. You're supposed to feel that, if you see somebody you care about, you see that they're, down on their luck or, something really bad's happened to them, you're supposed to feel their pain in a sense, if you actually truly care about them, you will feel their pain and it hurts you just as much as it hurts them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you don't feel nothing, then you're inhuman.
Yeah. If you don't feel nothing, then maybe you don't need to be friends with that person or something if you don't feel nothing.
Yeah. True. True.
Yeah.
Ooh. True.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I think that's very important to even bring up too. That like, I feel like yeah, when men cry in public, you know that something really is going on because
Mhm.
I feel like
Yeah.
men like when they are just I feel like women. I mean, I feel like maybe they're just a little bit more. They will show their emotions a little bit easier than men, but when like a guy actually cries, like you definitely know something's going on, and that's where you do become empathetic and like sad for them. So yeah, I think it could definitely like I'm glad that we could see that we're we could be there like a comfort for them and like a hug can go a long way.
I really wish I would have had emotional support when I stubbed my toe.
Oh
Hey,
man.
for real though, it was this little metal like bolt sticking out of the ground. I was wearing flip flops and I hit it with my big toe and blood came out. It was horrible. Man,
Ooh.
I had never cried like that since I was a kid and I fell off of a bike or something. But I was just like,
My toes.
it hurts so bad.
Oof.
Yeah, and
Yikes.
yeah, it was horrible. But yeah, I definitely should be there for each other. If y'all need me for whatever, y'all can hit me up, man.
Just
I'm
hit you
here
up.
for emotional support, bro. You-
Absolutely. Yeah. So I love that you even bring that up. So I guess leading on into my final question for this episode, I think of like one love that some people forget is to love themselves. So I think of self-love, it can deal with like even like your mental health and stuff like that. And it can really we could really become our worst enemies sometimes. I can definitely say that for myself, for sure. So I thought that I would turn this into more of a positive question. So I guess my final question for y'all is like what are three things that you love about yourself?
I know my main thing I love about myself, man, is like I'm resilient, man. I've went through so much stuff, in my life from like 17 to 22 that, it was really easy for me to give up. And, thankfully I had, my oldest son, to fall back on whenever I felt down, but just the fact that I was able to fight and, not give up on myself, that is something I really cherish, that, about me. And other thing, just my ability to try to be the best dad and husband as I can be. I know I'm not perfect, but I go out of my way to try to do, what's best for them. And another thing is my confidence, man. Like I love the confidence I have in myself to, I know I can achieve anything, and the confidence I have, and the kids, make sure, they have the confidence. Cause once you're in like middle school, late elementary, middle school, it's really easy to get your confidence shaken, especially
yeah,
as a guy,
Mhm.
other guys and other boys just want to pick on you and stuff. I try to instill that into them to make sure that they have the confidence to, not let, somebody picking on them affect them. And, if they see somebody getting picked on, hey, step up and speak up about it. Just don't let
yeah,
somebody get picked on. That's my main three things is, just not giving up on myself, try to be a good dad and good husband, and the confidence, to no matter what somebody says, no matter what somebody thinks, it's like, oh, well, you're not helping me better myself. You're not helping me pay the bills. You're not helping me with any aspects of life. So why should I care about what you think about me and, make you value my self-worth? My self-worth is what self-worth, it's about how you feel about yourself. And, I
hmm
feel like, I have the confidence to, you know, project that, to the kids. So, they can be confident when they go to school, going your first day at school, like my youngest one, he's about to start kindergarten in August, so, I know he's going to be really scared and nervous about it. And my oldest is going to be in sixth grade. He's going to be in middle school next year. He's going to go to a whole new
Nice.
school. So, I know that's gonna be intimidating a little bit, but hopefully I've given them the confidence that I have to make them overcome those things that that we all went through, and going to your new school, getting a new job, anytime that something's new, you kind of get butterflies, you get kind of nervous, but that self-confidence, you gotta, that's one of my favorite things about myself, that I love about myself.
Mm. Yeah, I'm glad that you brought up confidence because I feel like that's one thing that like I definitely lack in still to this day. Like I feel like that's something that I still struggle with, and I feel like a lot of it came from like the times of especially eighth grade year. I feel like I went through like a good bit of like bullying, so I
Hmm.
feel like sometimes I still carry some of that stuff with me to this day. I feel like I've gotten better with it, but there are still times where I will, I guess fall into those like late at the night moments where you're just like laying in bed and you just start thinking about all these things come to your head. So like even about like my weight, like it's one thing for me because I think around eighth grade I may have gained a little bit of weight. So and like that was kind of pointed out to me by some people. So I think like that still hits me to this day. Like I start
Hmm.
wondering, am I still fat? Do I need to lose weight? Do I need to, or stuff like that. So I'm glad that you have good confidence, and I think that's amazing to have, and I hope to even get up to that point at someday.
Hey man, you started your podcast, man. I mean, that takes a lot of confidence to do that, man.
Yeah, it
Yeah, it
does.
really
It
that takes a
does.
lot of confidence to get on here and stuff. I mean, that's not easy. That's not easy to do. And if you don't feel good about yourself about it, like you probably wouldn't have did it. So I'm pretty sure I could tell you made some good strides from then to now,
Oh
because
yeah.
high school Joel, I would have never seen, doing a podcast or anything like that and doing a lot of talking. But now, I mean, look at you. You're on your almost 75th episode. And, so it's building, man. It's building.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I like that. I think that, within the past year, I've started to work on my journey, I guess, as far as self-confidence, and I'm slowly making my way up there. So yeah, I definitely appreciate that.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
man.
It's like that big old caterpillar from Bug's Life, bro. You saw how much he had to go through adventures and stuff, and then he finally became a big old butterfly.
Oh, I love that movie.
We was just watching that movie a couple of nights ago, man. Like, we was just watching that movie. I was watching that, man.
I love the scene where he busts out of the cocoon, and
Cocoon.
he's like, "Look at me, I'm a beautiful butterfly."
I said it just like him.
Good, good impression, man. You need to start doing that. Do that on
Yeah,
the side, man.
that's crazy. That actually, when I was in school, I wanted to do voice impersonations for like cartoons and stuff, which was something that I wanted to get into. But there's a lot of stuff that I like to do. So like I got my songwriting thing. I like to play guitar. I like to reenact stuff. I like to. It's just a bunch of different things, and that honestly, when it comes down to loving things about yourself, you don't really realize it right away. Like for myself, it was a struggle as well. I got bullied in middle school as well, and I know what it feels like because sometimes like my biggest bully was an ex that I had, and she told me that I wasn't good enough, that I was dumb, and all this other other things that I was ugly, and then bit by bit, like after I left her, she kept wanting me to go back to her, and I was like, why do you want me to come back to you if I was what you said I was, you know? Like I thought I wasn't good enough, and then I started finding out that she would just tell me those things to try to get me to believe them. But in reality, like I was not bad looking.
Mm.
And another thing was my personality, like everybody told me that they loved my personality that I hung out with back in the day. And
No,
then I started making new friends, I started making new acquaintances and meeting other people, going out because I used to keep myself locked up like the caterpillar from Bug's Life. And then one day I spread my wings and I was like, yeah.
yeah,
But
man. You've always been an outgoing person. From what I remember, man. You've always.
when I was with her, it was like as if she closed shut me down, bro. It was like
Mm.
if some people their negativity can bring you down so low that you thought you could never be at that level. So like when I finally realized that it was her, not me, it was when I finally let her go and let her do her own thing, because I found that she, was doing me damage. So I was just like, this person's not good for me, so I have to keep moving on. And then I found love for myself again. And when I found myself again, I was like, oh, I remember what it's like to love myself again, because it was lost. Sometimes you can lose that little spark that you have inside of you to keep you going. Just be yourself, be enthusiastic, be who you want to be, because honestly, at the end of the day, we all choose to be who we want to be. You can be whatever you want. If I want to be a cowboy tomorrow, I can be a cowboy tomorrow. If I want to be a guy wearing a sombrero, drinking tequila at a bar for no reason, I'll ride my donkey there. I'll ride my donkey, and I actually want to get me a donkey one day and just ride it to a bar and see what people are gonna tell me. They're gonna be like, "Did you just seriously ride a donkey here?" I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, because I can."
Yeah,
But I
man.
mean,
There you
Still get in
go.
the fast lane.
but yeah,
Yeah.
I do love the confidence that I have now that I lost back then, because it took me a while to find myself again, and it is hard when you have people telling you negative things, but it's easy when you hang around people that lift you up, that kind of, motivate you to be yourself and do what you want to do. Like, for instance, doing this podcast for you, Joel, that was amazing. And I remember from day one, I was like, I think you should go for it. And I mean, if that's your dream, chase it. Chase your dream
No.
down until it doesn't be, until it no, it's not a dream anymore. Like, your dream is now no longer a dream. It's a realization. It's reality.
Mhm.
And it is now. Look, you're doing your
Yeah.
podcast now, and it's working out. Like, it'll work out for you, man. And honestly, I know that because it worked out for me. I thought I was never gonna find the confidence and gain that feeling again. And then another thing that I love about myself is that I love others with no how do you say it?
No strings attached.
Yeah, no strings attached. There's a word for it.
Like
It was,
unconditional.
yeah,
So,
unconditionally.
yeah. No, no.
Yeah. I love people unconditionally. I love people without expecting anything in return. If I give, I don't give to expect anything back. I
Yeah.
give and just because that's how my heart is. And sometimes some people take advantage of me, but like, I learned also to not let people take advantage of me, which is also something that I love about myself, is that I learned how to push back from people who try to hurt me, try and take advantage of the kind of person I am. But yeah, there's think I also love that I don't get fat with all the stuff that I
Oh, that must
eat.
be nice, man. That must be
That's a
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
that's
real.
a good
That must
that's
be
a
nice,
good one.
man.
That's a good one. Like, I can eat just about anything, ice cream and stuff like that, and I'll get
Mhm.
like overweight or anything. Now my metabolism has been slowing down, so I
Yeah,
have to
mine too.
exercise. And I've been going to the gym lately.
I'm getting
But
pumped
yeah,
up.
yeah, got to, bro, got to. And the taco's starting to overhang on my shorts.
Tacos are winning the battle. Tacos are winning the battle, man.
Mm. Yeah, I wish I could say I had that love about myself, but no, when I eat, it's like I start gaining weight way too quick. So it's like, yep, I gotta work for it to like lose that weight back off. So especially here recently with Easter that we had, like there was some good food that I was eating. I saw that my weight was
Mm.
going up a little bit. It's like, nope, 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 nope. Let's get it back down. Get it back down here.
At the end of the day, Joel, my metabolism won't last forever. I'm starting to gain weight now, and I have to watch what I eat now too. And I have to start exercising and everything. I mean, I was exercising before, but just not as much as I am now, because
Mhm.
I started getting kind of chubby.
I need to start exercising a little more myself, to be
I gained
honest.
I gained that love weight, bro.
That's what it does to you, man. It does to you, man. I mean, I'm like, whenever I was in high school, I was like 150, something like that. I'm over 200 now.
Damn.
So,
I mean,
yeah,
oops.
You're good.
Dang.
yeah, I didn't gain about 50 pounds, but that, I mean, I still got confidence in myself. So, it doesn't really affect me. But, I do notice, like, if I'm trying to go outside with the kids and pass the football or something, I'm getting kind of winded a little quicker. So, that's one thing I do need to start working on, to get myself back into at least decent shape.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not so much as like trying to gain form that I'm doing it for. It's more of like, like you said, cardio, trying to if there was a zombie apocalypse tomorrow, I would be the first one dead. Cause I can only run like from here to the mailbox over there. And then I'll be like
All right, zombie, you can have me, man. You can have me, zombie.
all right, dude, you win.
You
Make it quick.
get quick. You want to get it over with.
Yeah. So I love that, we've been talking a lot about confidence. And I think that's, something that, I'm glad is being brought up just because I feel like that's something that I'm really trying to work on. And I see that, both of y'all seem to, been going through journeys with confidence as well. So I'm glad that this was brought up because I guess one point that I do, I guess, love about myself in a way is I love to prove people wrong. Like I love when somebody tells me you can't do this or I'll never think that you would do this, and then here I go. It's like, oh, hello, like here I am. So
I did it.
I got it. Joel, you can't gain confidence.
No,
Now
prove 'em wrong. Prove 'em wrong.
now he's got to do it.
yeah. Yeah, this guess is kind of like this podcast. Like, people probably thought, like, I don't think I know anybody, like, personally that had, well, other than one of my brothers has a podcast, but besides him, I don't know anybody from, like, school or any coworker that I have, like, that has a podcast. So, like, I'm, like, the least expected person to go out to have a podcast because I for real think, like, with the yearbook stuff, like, with the who's, I feel like they created that quietest person category just for me and took it right off as soon as I graduated because it's like I knew I was going to win that crap. I was going to win that
Yeah.
quietest guy and all that. So I was thinking, like, well, how about like the least expected person has a podcast and talks about just different things with different people and like having people getting to see a different side of me more than just that quiet guy from school. Like I want people to know me for who I am, like the person I've always wanted to show people, but just was always, I guess, scared or nervous to. I don't know if it was fear of rejection of friendships or whatever the case may be, but I think that's one thing that I love is that I guess maybe like determination to prove others wrong. And I think that was like one thing. And like even with my weight, how I talked about like some people that have brought up, I guess, my weight before in the past. Like I love to like show people like, look, am I fat now? Like, like my determination to prove people wrong is like my first thing that I love about myself. And then another thing is probably like having, I guess, what I call a servant's attitude, meaning like I want to help others in need where like wherever they need that help with. I think that's like another thing that I feel like I can give myself in that way, like just different things, whether it's money or even just to be there for somebody to be an open ear to like listen to friends, like to a friend talking to me or a family member talking to me about a struggle. So there's that. And then I guess the final thing is I feel like I'm somebody that people can depend on, like whether it's in work or like just even in life in general, like as a friend, I feel like I can be someone that people can depend on. So I think those are like my top three things that I love about myself.
Those good three things, man. Good three
Yeah, those
things.
are good. Those are good.
Yeah, so I thought that that would be a good like last question to go over because I feel like we tend to forget about loving ourselves. Like sometimes we are so focused on like loving others that like we forget that at the end of the day it starts from here and that's where it works from the inside out and we're able to externally show love to others.
Mm-hmm.
Joel,
Can't
just remember whenever you, my bad. Whenever you have any insecurity problems or you start thinking about stuff like that, just remember, I like you just the way you are, Joel.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you don't have to change for nobody, and you'll gain that confidence. You'll gain that confidence. And honestly, somebody, maybe someone, and maybe God has someone planned to come into your life that's gonna help you. And I mean, it's like what happened to me, total opposite. She's gonna probably have the confidence that you need, and she's gonna assure you all those things. So, sometimes like stuff happens when you least expect it. You just kind of have to wait. It's a waiting game. It's like fishing. You sit there and you wait until you finally get that hook.
Funny hook it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely takes a lot of patience for sure. So yeah, I definitely appreciate you saying that, most definitely.
Oh yeah. It's worth the wait. I know because I thought like when I found love was when I least expected it. It was when I wasn't looking for it. It was just like it happened, and there's a lot of things that I had like that were insecurities of mine that she helped me out with, and I'm not gonna lie, there was still some things that I needed to gain confidence in, and she helped me out with that. And honestly, like sometimes it takes someone to help you out with certain things, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you need someone, but it does help to have someone help
Well, it
you.
definitely helps.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's a really good way to end this topic. So I definitely appreciate y'all both being on here. This was definitely a really good conversation for sure.
Oh yeah.
Proud to be here, man. Happy to be here. I
Yeah.
As
had a lot of fun,
God.
man. I had a lot of fun. Good to see Miguel again.
Oh yeah,
Good to
bro.
see you again, Joel. It's been a
Yes.
long time.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely
I
been a
enjoyed it.
while.
I definitely enjoyed it, man.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, I definitely appreciate y'all being here. And for you viewers that are watching, I definitely appreciate your support as well. Whether you are watching this on YouTube or if you are listening to this on any of the podcast streaming platforms like Spotify or Apple or Google Podcasts, I definitely appreciate your support there as well. So anyways, everybody, I hope that y'all have an amazing rest of your day or night, depending on when you're watching or listening to this. And I will see y'all on the season finale of Not Your Average Joe. Talk to y'all later.
See you later.
Thank you, everybody that took the time to listen to this episode of Not Your Average Joel. My podcast is available not only on YouTube, but also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcast from. I also have an Instagram page where you can see outstanding moments, behind the scenes, and even a funny moment or two from each episode at Not Your Average Joel Podcast. If you want to get in contact with me, then my Instagram page is probably the best way to do so through direct messaging. I appreciate any kind of support that you have given to this channel, whether you are a guest or a listener to this podcast. Once again, I thank y'all so much, and I look forward to sharing more of my life with y'all on the next episode of Not Your Average Joel. Goodbye.